So you're thinking about buying a Focus RS. You're probably doing your research if you're watching this video, or you're just curious, who knows? There's a couple things that I wish I knew before I bought this car. I wish that there was a clear-cut video with these 3 things. Here I am making a video, hopefully saving you a headache before you buy one of these things. I wouldn't say these are 3 things that should tell you not to buy it, but they're just 3 things that you should be aware of before you buy it. Maybe it'll change your decision, or maybe it won't, but yeah, let's get into it. So the very first thing that I wish I knew would be that the Focus ST, you can make a lot more power out of those things for a lot cheaper. And what I mean by that is, yes, there's plenty of aftermarket support for both this and the Focus ST. However, you can make more power for cheaper safely on the Focus ST in comparison to the Focus RS. These things are pretty good. They say they make 350 crank horsepower off the lot or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's a decent amount, and it's more in comparison to the Focus ST stock. However, the 2.3 liter and the 2 liter engines are pretty different. I mean, they're not as similar as you think. They share some similarities, but they're pretty different in the sense that the 2 liter EcoBoost can hold way more power than the 2.3 before failure gives in. And you would think that the 2.3 liter, it's a little bit bigger, it pushes more power stock, so it should make more power easier. That's not true. That is simply not true. These Focus ST guys can push an easy 400, 500 horsepower out of those things with a downpipe tune, intercooler, and turbo. Now, if you throw a turbo at one of these, it will blow the fuck up. It's just true. It will blow up. The Focus ST just seems to hold more power. So for you, if you're looking to build a car with a fuck ton of horsepower and you don't want to spend as much, you will get a better bang for your buck per horsepower when building a Focus ST in comparison to a Focus RS. It will cost significantly more money to build one of these to amount to the same amount of horsepower that you could have gotten out of a Focus ST for cheaper, if that makes sense. I mean, hey, if money isn't an issue, you totally could put a 2 liter EcoBoost block on one of these and reuse the same head. I mean, people have done that. Like, you can build one of these. There's write-ups on Reddit on how to do it and all that. People have done it, and it's very possible. So that's my first point. My second point being reliability. These cars are very reliable stock, especially if it had the head gasket recall done or if it doesn't apply to the head gasket issue. I mean, hell, I've put only 6,000 miles on mine, so I might be speaking too soon. But the truth is, these cars are pretty reliable. You very rarely will hear them failing if they're maintained right and you don't modify them balls to the wall. But they stay reliable until you upgrade that damn turbo. This kind of goes hand in hand with my first point, but if you're buying one of these and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go downpipe, tune, intercooler, intake, you know, short throw shifter, you know, exhaust, do all that, great. But if you're gonna upgrade the turbo, don't do it unless you're going full built motor. It will blow the fuck up, trust me. There are dozens and dozens of examples online of people that throw in like a precision upgrade turbo and it just blows the fuck up. Stock turbo, they make pretty good power. I mean, they're fun, man. Ooh, we got some nice pops right there. It happens, it sucks. I wish I knew that, because when I bought this thing, one of the first things I was gonna do was just like, okay, let's get a step up turbo. We're not gonna go crazy, but let's get a step up. Let's make a little bit more juice. And when I was looking to buy one, I was doing my research. I was kind of sad to find out that you can't just throw a turbo at one of these and just make a decent amount more power like you can with pretty much any fucking BMW or the Focus ST. I have a couple buddies that have STs and they just have thrown turbos at their stock blocks and have had no issues for like 10,000+ miles now. So I was a little sad to find out you can't necessarily do that on one of these. So that's my second point. You can't safely upgrade the turbos on these stock. You're gonna have to do a lot of work, which is a lot of money. And again, in comparison to the ST, you can't really do that on this. I mean, you can, but you've got a lot more work ahead of you to safely do that if you don't want your car to blow up. Now, my third point, before anyone shits on me in the comments, I know this applies to most cars, but I feel like more so this car than any other car. Where you purchase this vehicle matters. Now, of course, inevitably, cars will be cheaper secondhand, Facebook Marketplace, eBay Motors, auction websites even sometimes, through a friend, wherever. Going to the dealership will be significantly more expensive for one of these. You can find a a well-used example, or even, you know, a low-mile rebuilt title example. And I know how some people feel about those. I'm not saying to buy a rebuilt title. Mine's not. I probably could have gotten away with buying a rebuilt title. But basically what I'm trying to say is price difference on purchasing one of these through a dealership or buying them privately is insane. You can find these on Facebook Marketplace for much, much cheaper in comparison to dealerships. I purchased this clean 2017 Focus RS with 68,000 miles on it for 28 grand, and after fees and everything, all that bullshit, I spent $33,000 for this car, which, I mean, you could argue is okay. You can find similar examples, basically identical condition, for like 10 grand cheaper privately. And yes, you're gonna have to register and go through all the fees, but you could still probably walk away spending about 5 grand less buying one of these on Marketplace. I wish I knew that, and I wish I was true to myself when I told myself I'd buy one of these on Marketplace. I think inevitably I went through a dealership because you can finance one, but if you have the means to do it, or you have the resources or a method to do it, absolutely purchase one of these on Marketplace in comparison to the dealership. Sure, you could probably trust a dealership, or you can warranty it, be like, hey, I just bought this car 7 days ago and now it blew up into 30,000 pieces. I guess you have peace of mind buying it from a dealership, whereas you could get scammed on Marketplace. But truth is, they're so much cheaper on Marketplace, and so much being, you know, a few $1,000s sometimes numerous $1,000s. It's just way more worth your while to buy one of these on Marketplace, and I really, really wish I knew that. So those are my 3 points. The first point being, if you want a lot of power for the bang for your buck, buy a Focus ST. My second point being, you can't just throw a turbo at one of these. I mean, I guess that's kind of self-explanatory, but that's that. My third point being, where you buy it really matters because the price is significantly different. So with knowing all these 3 things, are these all 3 reasons to not buy one of these? Absolutely not. I think you should still buy one of these, and if you're thinking about buying one, I have had 0 regrets. I've owned this car for about 6 months now. I've had nothing but smiles and fun with this car. I haven't had many issues. Go buy one of these because these cars are so much fun. So I'll leave that up to you. Do you want a Focus ST, or do you want a Focus RS, or do you want a different car? So that'll about do it for me here today. Hopefully you gained some information from watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll make sure I get back to you. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like it, make sure you subscribe. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.